I still don't get the mask because everybody knows him, like in all the gameplay videos. Like he's in the car, and they're like, he's in that car. It's like, how did you know he was in that car? It's like, I don't know what the mask is going to do. Like, people are going to spot him no matter what.
So here's the thing about, I don't know how...
He looks cool, for sure.
I don't know how the current gen version of this will handle this, but you see that lighting on the stairs?
Yeah.
And how he walks by it and you see the lighting hit him and all that? Current gen games baked lighting, and baking lighting is a process where, Dan, you could probably explain it better.
Well, you texture your object, and then you render it out. You pre-render it with the lights, how the lights are in the scene, and it makes it a unique texture with that lighting applied to it, and then you reapply that to your model in-game.
So if I'm going to put my foot in front of that light, I'm not going to see shadows applied.
Right, it's
to
just
the
a
thing.
pre-rendered texture. It's already made.
Yeah, the texture has the lighting already in it. That light, I don't know if it's actually baked there or if it's being cast by those little LEDs on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to open world games not raining or snowing indoors. That'll be really great. I think that'll be a nice aesthetic jump because it's always a little rough to be standing under an object that you know should block. Yeah, there's a very clear example of that, that the direct switch.
Yeah, this is all real geometry.
Goes into Matrix world, and then so you can get a perspective. It certainly helps with gameplay. You get a perspective on, like, where am I going? Where is this camera in relation to where I'm standing?
I really appreciate just the way that they use the graphics in the game. It's the focusing, to kind of like almost guide the character where he's going, and it kind of gives you this claustrophobic feel, like you are the character.
Yeah.
When you see that like rack focus and you have that over the shoulder perspective.
What is that halo around the car? Is that?
I think that means you can use that item.
Yeah.
Like anything with a halo around it is an object.
It's like an Ascreed when you select someone has like a little glow halo.
So he's got it around him. The enemies all have it.
Okay.
Anything that's going to factor into gameplay. But it's so much rain all over the place. Speaking of Last of Us again, which I think stylistically kind of shares some elements with this game, the kind of a grittiness. Yeah. I noticed one part where Joel got into the water up into his waist and then got out, and the very bottom of his backpack was wet, and his pants.
Yeah,
it was like literally I could see the line where he got out of the water. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
And so, it's with the rain here, obviously everybody's just going to be drenched, but it'd be interesting to see, if you jump in the water and swim and get out, like your hat won't be wet because it was above water the whole time. I think that's going to be an interesting bar.
I think this just proves that the new systems are going to be able to handle whatever the developers throw at them. So it's really just, what the developers are limited by and time. And
rough.
Animation cycles are amazing in this game. Ubisoft
look at
it's Yeah, Ubisoft's always been great about animation with characters, like ever since Prince of Persia.
Oh, yeah.
And Assassin's Creed obviously proved that. And here you see the next step, like how it doesn't look janky. Like, it doesn't look like he just...
Yeah, transitioning from one move to the next is very fluid.
And this is interesting because, you got to wonder if it has this kind of mobile connectivity, if the frame rate would take a hit, if it wasn't... if that would be too much for the system to handle, to try to okay, I got to communicate between, the PS3 or PS4 and the, iPad or whatever. But it doesn't seem to be affecting it at all.
I think those two... I saw something. Okay, so pay attention. He hacks the security beams on so cars can't transit. And the cop cars crash into it, and their headlights break, and you see the headlights shards, see that?
Yeah.
That's a can animation, because the other cars explode, one on the right hand side, two go one next to each other, and they have the exact same.
Yeah.
See that?
It doesn't even kick in until later.
Yeah, but it's the exact same particle explosion.
Oh sure, yeah. Look at
so that's canned. So that's one way to. You see, it's. When you see your eye catches two things doing the exact same thing, no matter how complex you notice it.
And it seems like these particles are just kind of dropping through the environment when they're done. But still, I think first, remotely negative thing we've said about the game.
Yeah, no, that's the one thing I've noticed so far that I'm like, oh, okay, I saw the trick.
And just reading signs from that distance, just seeing that sign in the background.
City of Chicago.
Yeah.
Look at that. You've been to Chicago.
Yeah.
That's the river, and it's looks really good.
The rain. I mean, just you can even see that in the lighting. You know, the slickness on the back of his jacket now.
And his jacket is dynamic. The helicopter was, when he was on the other side of the bridge, you know, you could see his jacket was kind of flapping around a little bit as the helicopter was getting closer.
I wonder if that tree. Look at the tree. Look at the tree swaying with the helicopter.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I wonder. Yeah, is that? Yeah, it's not moving right there.
It moves when the helicopter gets close.
These are like real-time dynamics, and there's so much stuff, so many dynamics going
the
on.
way the tree moves. I mean, like any kind of wind in like Assassin's Creed 3, like you can see the whole like clip of or you know like texture of leaves like whack whack all kind of waving at the same time. So yeah, that is way better. So this is the classic move. He does this in the gameplay trailer and in the CG trailer.
The people in Chicago must be really pissed when this guy's around, because if you can pull that trick off every time you're in trouble, the lights are going out around the city like every 10 minutes.
That kind of does make you a criminal.
But that'd be really cool if like there were, you know, just as in Grand Theft Auto, you know, when you do a major heist and then you get on the radio, you know, afterwards and you can hear like there was a major heist in, you know, Las Venturas or whatever. Like, it'd be funny if you hear people complaining like my power goes out every 5 hours, and you know, when is the you know Chicago Water and Power going to address this issue?
They acknowledge the trolls.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the other things that's been really exciting about this game, graphic-wise, is because we do have it's Chicago. Like you do know what that looks like, and so you know a lot of these other games kind of take place in like Witcher. Like there's nothing really we can relate that to, but yeah, really interesting to get the raindrops in the slow and the slow mo. Look at that.
Yeah. I guess they are particles.
Frozen raindrops. Is that the only way you can do that?
No, they transition in.
Do you think that they have a canned like texture going on, and then when they transition to that
raindrop goes over there when it moves?
No, it's a field of particles. So that much is evident. I'm just wondering if it's canned. It has to be canned. That's way too much to calculate. But
I mean, rain was just a no-brainer, you think, for their E3 demos? Like, okay, rain. We got to have rain. Rain everywhere. Rain on everything.
And water. Like water on surfaces. Everything's wet. Yeah, everything. We're in a river now.
And finally, I think this is one of the big things you were just going nutso over is...
look at this. This is like, okay, look at the water right now. It looks like you're in a cruise ship at night. There's stars in the sky. Like, there's no lights anywhere. And you see the Sears Tower there in the background? Right. Boom. The lights starting to come back on. And now look at the water now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, you can see everything.
Look at the green reflecting there on the water. Like that. This is amazing. I mean, that looks really good. See how go back under the bridge. See the reflection of the red of those things here on the bridge. This is not Wave Race 64.
For sure. And just the waves and the way the water's deforming underneath the boat, and just in general, like you know, the visual thrill of all those lights coming back on. You know, that's not really something you see very often.
Like here, it looks like a really good looking game.
Yeah.
And when those lights turn on, it looks a gorgeous looking game.
And you got the boat reflections on the bottom of the bridge just when it pops up there.
I wonder if the guy can swim. I doubt it, but that city's there, man. The whole city.
There you go, Watchdogs. So yeah, really interesting thing to mention from E3. When you brought that up, I was like, oh yeah, I can talk about open world games for hours. But thanks so much for sitting down and chatting about this. We're going to go through a couple of other games this week, looking at specifically the graphics from E3, talking about how this stuff was put together, and starting the buzz for how these games are really going to look when we get our hands on a PS4 and an Xbox One this fall. So thanks. See you soon.